Welcome to the Pseudo-Serial podcast. On this tale of the tape, we're gonna talk about Hereditary.
Yeah!
So Hereditary is a 2018 film.
By Ari Aster. Don't forget his name.
There you go.
It's Ari Aster, his debut film. Well, debut feature film. Do you want to do a synopsis or?
Who did The Witch? Was he just a producer on that?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
The Witch is a completely different guy. Because I remember we were all talking about it. We were all like, oh, Ari Aster did The Witch and it's going to be the same film. And then I was like, yo, that makes so much sense because these two films are really similar.
But I feel like he had like a huge creative control over The Witch.
I think he did write a bit of the script.
Yeah.
Because I know he wrote this script. He wrote 8 different versions of this script.
Yeah, I've like read some of them online.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been looking everyone to read them.
There's only like snippets, but it's like pretty cool. It's quite different actually. The way the dad talks to Peter is like way different than like the other scripts.
I know that the script was written for winter. They were supposed to film the whole thing like in the snow and stuff. And I feel like I prefer this though. The summer.
Oh yeah, no.
I way prefer it. It's so much. It's like nice and. It's like it contrasts everything that happens.
To me, it also gives off a more, because you know she makes us miniatures. It has a more miniature kind of feel to it. Whenever it has like a outshot of it, and if it were winter, it's quite. I don't know. It's too covered then. Because the house was. Well, a lot of it was kind of built in a studio for a lot of the
No, all
shows.
of it was built in a studio.
Not all of it.
That house where they filmed, they only went there for a week, I think.
Yeah.
They filmed that because it was too expensive to film the whole movie there.
Yeah.
And the whole if you see something that's interior, it's built.
Yeah, but the house wasn't built.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. You know that shot of the house like in the forest? Is that a model? It looked like a model.
There is a model and there is a.
So it's like both.
You were saying when we first watched it at the cinema, you were saying they used some lens to make it look like it was a miniature.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
another movie.
That's really cool. Or was that another movie?
No, you said that there was another movie that did it really well. You couldn't remember the name.
Oh, but they did do it in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I that was pretty cool.
So we've talked that it's not really discussed. We're gonna discuss it now. That we think it's a more of a family drama with a lot of horror elements.
Yeah.
I'm a bit conflicted of that only because of the atmosphere that this movie creates is very horror to me.
Yeah, like same with me. I felt really like disturbed throughout the whole film.
But that's more the score. Even the lighting is lighthearted, but everything else is lighthearted.
Thematically, I will definitely agree it's more family-centered, but you know, there's just the amount of imagery and just, like you said, the score that goes on with this movie kind of still gives me a massive horror vibe.
No, like, I get goosebumps the whole movie.
Oh, is it?
But I think the theme of the movie is family. The theme isn't horror.
Just said that.
Yeah.
Just said thematically.
Yeah, I also got the whole vibe, like, it's presented as, like, what it's supposed to be, kind of horror.
But I have a massive respect for this movie. Like, if I just think about it, if I had to make a kind of movie with all these kind of themes and stuff, this is probably, when you think about it, the best kind of way to do it. Yeah. I can't really think, you know, that's why I got like this massive respect for it. I don't think it's gonna be up there like with like, you know, all the fucking critics were like it's gonna be up there with The Exorcist. I think it might, like I said, be respected as much as that, but I don't think it should be held as that high.
No, I was just because the movie is only really liked by critics. If you go and you look at like the audience scores and stuff, the audience score is like massively lower.
Because it's like very different from modern horror.
Yeah, that's what
I argued that in my screenwriting.
Did you? Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, the scenes where she's like floating around. Or,
that
like,
was really weird.
Or there's like stuff that's like very old school kind of horror, like wire techniques, and you don't see that these days. Like a lot of audiences these days kind of, and I guess we were kind of assholes as well, kind of find that stuff a bit goofy.
I always like giggle to myself when he jumps out the window.
Yeah, but
it's just such a.
It's just the shot is so weird, like the outside shot. But yeah, it's.
And also the window's pretty like okay VFX.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't look decent.
Like a lot what I liked is like, although it's not like a traditional horror or whatever, I kind of like, I preferred that it wasn't. It was like, it managed to scare me so much without having like jump scares or any stupid shit in the movie. Like it was generally like had a creepy vibe
like
the whole time.
Whenever like, you know, that transition from like day to night after the father burns, my heart this is the third time I've watched this. My heart still like kicks adrenaline in every time
That's
happens.
for me every time you hear that click.
Yeah.
I can't stand that click. It's so disturbing.
Another thing is, this is the first time Dion's seen it. You have to watch it more than once. You will pick up so much shit that had like imagery, things people are saying, this stuff happens. There's so much shit in the background.
That's one thing that I did notice this time, when the first time we see the, what's his name now, the boy?
Peter.
When you see Peter in class, that first lecture is they're talking about how like some things aren't in the control of the characters in the story,
in the play,
and how it's less or more detrimental.
Tragic.
Tragic. I couldn't really pick up the links between it though. Like I just picked up that piece of dialogue, even though it's not explicitly given to us, like with the character speaking towards the camera.
I know it's a bit silly, but like I still don't understand who that other lady was that was waving at Charlie in the beginning when she cut the dove's head.
Oh, that was just a cultist.
Really?
Just watching. Yeah.
Oh, that was so weird.
Yeah, it's quite.
This time I noticed, you know that guy in the beginning who smiles at the.
Yeah.
I finally saw him in the house.
I noticed him as well.
I didn't see him.
Nude.
Yeah, he's that guy standing like in the doorway downstairs.
I lauged at them the first time at the funeral. Just smiling like a dipshit.
That was weird. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, this has to link somehow. I was like, is this like a creepy pedophile dude or whatever? But
one like small criticism I can give, I don't like how they set up the nut allergy thing. I thought that was kind of dumb.
I think the way they wrote it to tell us that she was allergic was pretty decent. It was like
but the party
subtle,
nut thing.
But the party like, they're just like
you just see this shot of this chick cutting like a fucking like ton of nuts.
I think they could have just given her the cake. They could have cut that scene where.
I don't like it. Like you see at the side, you see like pieces already cut out, and there's like these massive pieces of nuts like sticking out of it.
I just saw
chocolate cake.
That's why I kind of like that they showed the nuts, because I've never had in my life had a chocolate cake with nuts in it. So I wouldn't have pieced together what was going on if she just ate the cake, or like was there nuts in it or something. Oh, you know what like really got me was when when the mom was like. And it panned down, and those three dudes was. I shat myself.
No, it was a jump cut. It was a jump cut. Yeah.
I really.
You know, you can see them in the background.
Really?
Like
when he climbs up this one lady there.
Yeah, when he climbs up, you see this like Oma in the background.
I tried so hard to look, but I didn't see. So it got me so off guard.
That's what I'm saying. There's like so much shit in the background.
Which part of the mother didn't you see when we first watched it?
Which part of the mother?
When she was Payman. Which part didn't you see? Because I remember you told me the second time you watched it, you were like, oh, did you see her in the room, like in the corner or something?
Oh, no, it's, you know, like, when, Peter first finds the dad, and you see her kind of, like, up there in the corner, and then it, like, you know, the camera shifts focus now to the guy at the doorway.
Yeah.
If you look at one of the, like, the sort of reflection of one of the closets, you can see she jumps down and goes to the corner.
Oh, shit. I still haven't seen that.
I didn't see that the first time, but the second... or maybe I'm being completely dumb and it was literally just the cameraman. but you can, like, kind of see something go like that and go like that.
Oh, what? Because I always, like... Especially... I thought she could just teleport, because how did she get in the attic? That makes no sense to me.
Oh,
she was possessed, right?
Yeah, by Paimon.
Yeah, she was Paimon.
That blue light is basically just Paimon.
So the girl was first Paimon.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie was Paimon.
But how?
Wait.
Okay, shall I explain this?
Can I just say one thing? Like, what some people don't understand. Charlie literally is Paimon. It's like, it's not a possession at that point. There's no point in the film where like Paimon goes into her. She just is him. But since she's in a female form, it's kind of rejecting it in a way. That's why she looks so weird and stuff.
I was gonna say that she looked really not normal.
No, because there is a lot of like ways they showed that the grandmother did possess. Well, not possess. Did put payment inside Charlie.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's that scene, the first scene. That scene scares the shit out of me when the grandmother's standing in the corner. The first time,
that was really creepy.
Then she looks through and she turns before she turns the light off, she looks back and she sees that miniature of her breastfeeding Charlie, and then the mother's right there with her breast out as well. This is like, and there's also a lot of times when, especially at what do you call it, where you go to talk?
Just a counseling.
Yeah, like the counseling thing. She even said that the mother like latched onto Charlie because. But that's one thing I actually wanted to say. So, I don't know why it has to be that family. I can understand that the grandmother was like the head of the cult, and that she wanted her family to be. But I also thought that Joan, when she said at the car, she was like, "No, my son and his son died, like drowned." That maybe they killed themselves.
Oh, because she was trying to.
Because she was also trying to put them. But I also think, because I mean that makes a lot of sense. Then drowning is a biblical thing. Yeah. And payment is a biblical. Yeah,
it's like
demonic.
What's it? It's like one of the
eight kings. Of hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up like what the mom was saying about her mom is like that she was manipulative and like she like latched onto the second born, and she's like she didn't let her get to Peter or whatever.
Because like you see all these like writings on like everyone's bedrooms, and they're like incantations to like keep payment in like that area like of the house.
I read up on that, and I thought it said that they were just words that conjured payment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you meant like to trap him in
No, it's just incantations like...
Yeah, because Jones screams that at Peter at the playground.
You know, it was kind of funny to me though, I almost laughed. Like, the one part that was a bit silly is like, yo, just read this demonic text.
Yeah.
And she says payment
immediately
twice.
There, I knew what was going on.
That's what I mean, it's very old school kind of horror, because a lot of those were like these weird like... kind of writings and stuff, and people like give it to each other. Like, check this.
I immediately had an idea of exactly what was gonna go down, but I kept questioning like if the mom was just being like a bit not schizophrenic or whatever, but like she was having problems or whatnot, and she was like sleepwalking through some
I want to talk about that. In the movie, they state that the grandma had a thing called DID.
Do you know what that is?
It's like a personality dissociative kind of disorder thing. And I'm pretty 100% sure that the mom has it as well. Like the sleepwalking isn't sleepwalking, it's that DID.
I agree.
And
because that could explain her Charlie personality.
Yeah.
When they're having the seance.
That DID thing is actually really interesting in real life.
Have you seen a video of it?
Yeah, if it's so like creepy. People, it's like different people inside you that you like conjure up to protect you.
Watch the little girl doing that.
Yeah, me too. I think we saw the same video.
It was weird. So freaky.
I haven't seen any videos.
It's so freaky, dude.
I'm sure we watched the same video. Like the girl comes out and she's like super excited to be back to me. That was really weird.
But I'm pretty sure one of her personalities is almost, in a way, aware of what the grandma was trying to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, every time she goes in there, she tries to kill either Charlie or Peter.
That's why, because if she has DID, then that pain thinner backstory was probably her trying to kill all of the family. And that's what I thought happened with Jones' children. Yeah. And he actually, like, succeeded.
Because I mean, when she's at the meeting, even like you can see the grandma's been doing this since like the beginning. Like she states that one of her brothers, I think he also hung himself.
She was putting people inside.
Yeah, and in his suicide note, it states that she was trying to put people in him.
Yeah. So
in So in retrospect, she was trying to put payment in him. It's quite
that was interesting.
But that's what I'm talking about. If you watch it a second time, you'll pick up on all these things that they say.
That was really interesting. It makes so much sense now, like her whole family thing.
Yeah. And you see, like, in the book describes that whoever can conjure, like, Paimon, they get, like, riches and stuff. Yeah. And the first time I watched it, I was like, what did she get? But then I watched it again, and there's literally that photo of her getting showered in golden coins.
Like, what happened to the dad? Was she already possessed by, like, then?
No. So in the book, it does say somewhere there, I remember reading the second time I watched it, they said that you have to go through, like, extreme trauma, or, like, when you're at your weakest, then Paimon can possess you. So Paimon only went into Peter
when the husband died.
After he saw the mother, like, cutting her head off. Yeah. And he was, like, super scared, so he jumped out the window, and that's why Paimon could go inside of him.
Oh, okay, I get that. No, but, like, how did the dad just burst into flames?
Oh, I think that was just a trick on Paimon's side, that he made her think that the book was linked to her.
Yeah, because Paimon is a trickster.
Exactly.
Yeah, it did say that in the book.
Okay, no, that makes sense, I guess.
That fucking jerk.
But it also, like, for me, it doesn't make sense still. Like, why did she have to... If burning the book killed someone, like, what relevance did the book have apart from killing someone? Like, did she achieve anything by burning it?
It was to force the like, I guess it was like to push the plot forward in a sense, but I mean, like, in not as in a weak way that the plot was weak, but I'm saying, like, it was a drive for the mother to... She had, like, the idea that the book was linked to everything.
It was so kind of that kind of relates to, like, modern horror. Well, not modern horror, but, like, where it's like, if you burn this, you win. And because it was cool that Jones said didn't let them win.
Yeah, Jones said when she gave her the candle, she said, no, you need to have and put a piece of, like,
something to link.
Yeah, something to link. Yeah. And I think maybe she just thought that you had to link the book to the possession or whatever.
You know, I kind of like that twist with the cult. Well, like, I sort of had an idea that it would be a cult, like, seeing that symbol everywhere. But I didn't realize Joanne would be in it until, like really later on, before she opened it.
You kind of pick it up the first time with the pillow thing. Like, even the mom kind of picks up and is like, Mom used to make these too. And Joan's like, whoa, what a coincidence.
I thought the first time I watched it that they actually had a conversation about the mom. Like, her and Joan.
No.
I'm, like, complete retard. And then when I watched the second time, I was like, wait, they didn't have the conversation yet. And I was like, wait, maybe they just didn't.
What? Did the cult conjure up Charlie's death? And then, because it traumatized Peter, they thought that would make him weak enough?
Well, they did have the symbol on the
that's
pole.
why I'm like, why it had to be linked
because
somehow.
there always has to be, like, 3 people... I don't know if it's necessary. I have to lose their head, probably.
3 beheaded people. Because I even...
the grandma and the mother as well.
The grandma, the mother, Charlie. And I remember seeing the picture in the book, like, if on his waist he's got 3 hairs.
Oh, he's got 3 hairs, Also, another interesting thing is that, they always say Paimon rides on a horse. And very early on in the movie, when it's kind of going into Peter's room, you, like, hear, like, a horse kind of, like, galloping.
Oh, yeah, I heard that as well.
And this is the other thing I was trying to say the other day, but I explained like a retard what was, the ending song?
Yeah.
I think it's literally called something like Charlie,
the score.
Yeah, the score is very relevant to Paimon himself because according to the books, whenever he kind of arrives, there's like a whole orchestra that backs him up.
Oh, wow.
And there's bellowing and there's a lot of trumpets that go off. And in the score, there's like trumpets.
Yeah. I remember that in that behind the scenes I watched, Ari Aster said that he was listening to the guy who scored the movie. He was, like, listening to a lot of him when he was writing the script. And then as soon as he finished the script, he was looking for someone to write a score. And every time he read the script, that guy's music would play in his head. So he just thought that he was perfect. And, like, the first song sample that he sent back was like this one.
Oh shit! Yeah. But this song, like, plays, like, multiple times in the film.
Is it?
But only, like, short bits of it. Like, because when it starts, it's kind of, like, angelic in a way. That like, bit has played, like, in the beginning. And when it goes, like, just as the film goes further on, it becomes more, like, demonic.
Oh, does it actually go down, like, change in tones and stuff?
No, it's just, like I said, it plays bits of it. Because since the beginning is, like, that, like, angelic bit.
Wait, have you heard the full song?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't heard the full song. Does it actually change?
I mean, you basically hear the full song, though.
No, but does it change, like, through the full song in one listening? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, it doesn't just start out with...
I thought the song was just the demonic song.
And no. It's that and then it goes into it. But
I think that underscore with the heavy bass heartbeat is probably one of the best scores in any horror film.
I fucking love the way it sounds.
Can I mention something weird? I don't know if you guys noticed, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but did you notice that there was a lot of things that would disturb an OCD person, like the noises, the touching. It really bothered me, and I thought it was intentionally done to kind of.
Do you mean the sound effects or just
the sound effects and that Joanne chick, how she would keep touching her and did that not bother you? I thought that was done intentionally to kind of
that's one thing as well. There was a scene
make you feel uncomfortable. Sorry. That's what.
Yeah, no. When she went to get supplies again, the second time when she saw Joan again in the parking lot, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I noticed that the third time, the sun is super bright on above the mother's head, and then Joan right before Joan starts actually speaking about the seance and all this demonic stuff, then she starts to move her into the shadow of the car. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but it's super effective at changing
cool.
the lighting and everything.
It's actually quite interesting. I genuinely would not have thought of that. That's pretty cool.
But you were saying there's one scene. There's actually two scenes that I think are quite weak. It's the scene with when they're having the seance in their house. I thought Charlie's acting was quite weak then, and also thought that Peter's acting was quite weak.
Yeah, honestly.
And I thought that that was the weakest part of Toni Collette's. What's her name? Toni Collette.
Yeah, no, you said it right. Collette.
Yeah, her whole she acts insanely good the whole time, but I think that scene's so weak for me.
I don't like how I don't like Peter, everything you just said I also don't like, but I do think it's I do like that scene just because of the what it shows of the character of the mom. It shows that she's incredibly selfish. She doesn't care what the others think. She just wants to do this thing. Peter's there, he's literally begging her to stop. She doesn't give a shit. But throughout the whole movie she's really kind of selfish. She doesn't care at all what the others feel. But that's kind of the problem.
But that just clicked in my head that she makes miniatures. That's almost like a godlike quality of her.
Yeah. I didn't understand why Peter reacted how he reacted. I mean, I'm not saying I would have reacted differently. Well, I think I would have, but the way he reacted to that scene with Charlie.
You have to remember that he's young.
No, I understood that, but the way he was carrying himself earlier, it just seemed different.
I think his body acting is quite weak.
I also don't like the dialogue choice to go with mommy.
Yeah, that also bothers me.
I think it's really good. That freaks me out so much.
I don't like it.
It just it clicks that this kid's young. He's still in school.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He's 14, I think they said.
I understand he's young, but I just don't like it.
No, she's 13.
She's 13. Yeah. He has to be a bit older.
He has to be 16 or something.
Yeah.
He is 16, sorry.
Okay.
I remember now. I switched it around.
But yeah, there's that scene where when she grabs his head and then he that sequence with her, and then he's complaining and she touches him and his acting is don't touch me.
Yeah,
I kind of liked it.
I don't like he's crying as well. It feels very.
But you know that he's completely method acting.
Yeah, he's a very
he was in that role for the months that they filmed.
He's a very fucking good actor, but I still don't like he's crying in that. It's very.
It's the guy from Jumanji and Patriots Day.
Yeah, because I know that Ari Aster said that he would when he came on set he would introduce himself as Peter, on set and stuff, even when they weren't filming. And the only time that he introduced himself by his real name is on the last day of shooting.
But wait, can I just explain why I don't like he's crying?
Yeah.
It feels incredibly forced to me.
If
I were a director and I told an actor to just completely bawl himself out, you check in compared to Toni Collette, the way she reacts to Charlie's death, that completely just bawling.
Yeah.
It's almost disturbing.
It was disturbing.
How fucking well she does it.
That a compilation of her in a sense.
Yeah.
A like montage of her crying until they.
It's
bury the
really
casket.
gut punching that whole sequence of Charlie's death up until like the funeral.
I think his acting is quite good in like a lot of the scenes, but his weak scenes are just really like he needed to pull through on those weak scenes.
Right. I just really liked him a lot in just the car scene.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say apart from the weak stuff, everyone was pretty good in my opinion.
But I think that everyone's best scene was the dinner table fight.
That scene is too real for me.
Yeah, that was really
Like
sad.
I need a trigger warning before shit like that.
It's like, yeah, it's so good.
Like, I really liked it. Like, how would you react to like your sister's head being lopped off? Dude, that was like so creepy.
He's like in full panic mode, and he just doesn't know how to deal with it.
I like that he doesn't look.
Exactly, he doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's just like, let me just go home. No, he's not. He's probably not even thinking. Right?
Yeah,
he's like just completely.
He just went to bed. He was like.
Yeah.
What happened to the dog? Did they show when he was walking? Was that shot of the forest? Was the dog like in the grass there? So they
Killed it.
or they beheaded or what?
I don't think they beheaded it, but it was dead.
Maybe it died when the door slammed on its head.
Don't know.
No, that was
that was cool.
Yeah, that was before.
You know that, like, how you were talking about that, like, wire stuff where she was floating? That was really spooky to me when she, like, flew through the room.
It's really fucking spooky to me how, like, when they put the crown on him, the bodies just move to face to prey at him. Ugh.
That was interesting.
But her body just, like, floats into the treehouse.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, like, a lot of audience will find that kind of shit goofy. Like...
I found, like, did they just leave Charlie's body, though? Because, like, why did they have the mom and the grandma's body, but not Charlie's
body was buried.
Yeah, but so was the mom's. They just dug it up.
They dug up the mom's because the mom was, like, the lead.
No, she was the
and
queen.
They need 3 bodies, I guess.
I think they just needed 3 heads, and they had 3 heads. Because they still had Charlie's head. Like, it was on the...
Yeah, it was on the mannequin thing.
Where was the mom's head, though? And
they must have gotten it somehow.
That was left in the attic. You like hear it fall.
Yeah.
I don't think they really need the heads necessarily.
I think it's just the idea of beheading.
Yeah.
Because Charlie even cuts off a bird's head.
Yeah.
And I know that in Joan's house there's like a rat's head there. Somewhere on the table.
Oh, did you check in Joan's house that she basically made like a miniature of like the treehouse thing? Where it shows like the Charlie mannequin and you see like 3 or like 2 people bowing down to it.
I didn't really process
not the actual treehouse.
No, shit.
Oh,
no.
yeah, okay, because I saw that.
No, that'd be fucking really weird.
Yeah. There's one thing near the staircase. It's like dirt. And
of the house. Yeah.
And there's another house. What do you think? What does that mean? I don't understand that one at all. And they showed it quite a few times. I just don't understand why.
I'm not too sure what you're talking about. Like, what?
It's not. I don't know.
I don't think it has any relation to
if
the
it's
plot.
Somehow just the way it like goes. It's because it's very cylindrical, like almost like the. No, but that's like really reaching if I say this. Like it's almost like the circles of hell because of the levels of where it is.
That's what I thought.
Wait, what were you talking about?
That was the house going down in layers towards.
Because the top, the top is where the mom resides. She's like the queen. She's like in the attic. And then it just goes down to the more bottom level where...
But the houses aren't houses that we've seen before, though. That's the thing, right?
Wait, are you talking about the miniatures, right? Like that stacked one?
And there's houses in dirt, yeah.
It's like a weird fucking thing, yeah.
That was interesting. Wait, I like that like symbolism of that tree house. Like even the opening shot was the tree house, and then every night when he slept, it was like the tree house. Like they would show it in the window.
Yeah, because
really cool.
Do you think the mom was actually possessed for a long time, and then Payman only fully took over her body after she had trauma? Because she was sleeping in the treehouse, Charlie would sleep in the treehouse, and then...
I think that's just a trauma thing.
Yeah, like that's what I wanted to bring up now. Is like before the realization of a cult, I thought it was like a really interesting movie to do with like mental health shit.
It still does.
Everyone in the family was slowly deteriorating, and like even the father eventually breaks down. I thought that was really cool.
But like I said to Dean before, like you shouldn't like look at the supernatural stuff and think it takes away from the mental stuff. It's still always there.
But I'm saying that you can't say the movie is about mental like health.
No, I mean,
but I'm not saying about a cult.
I'm not saying that either. But I'm just saying what things represent, like in the movie, isn't just taken away because of the supernatural element.
Yeah, no, like you said now that the mother like could have DID, and that's like shown me a whole different aspect of the movie now. So I mean, I'm not saying that like mental health isn't a major part of the movie. I'm just saying that it's not like it could have been something else.
Yeah, it's
if
not.
Was the part,
it's
like,
not saying anything about mental health. It's just,
and that's why I think that the mental health aspect isn't effective in the film.
Isn't effective.
Yeah, isn't effective. Because if you compare it to Babadook and how, even like at the end after the whole like climaxes happen, and then the mother goes down into the basement to deal with trauma one more time. I think that's like far more effective at like concreting the idea that mental health is this like disturbing idea. And now if you watch like Hereditary, it's like mental health for 40 minutes, like an hour and a half.
I mean, Babadook has a very clear stance on what it sees mental health as and what it's trying to say. Hereditary, no.
And it just
not really,
because even like Hereditary, like the title itself is like an homage to
it's,
and then they just like they kind of just cut off that idea of this all being but
I think part of that is just of how many rewrites there were for Hereditary. I told you what like the original ending for Hereditary was supposed to be. So like the original ending was literally just supposed to be Peter going up in the attic and like gouging his eyes out, and then it would have ended. Like you can still see in the movie it like heavily hints like to his eyes and everything. But no, like
I think they could have ended the movie like this ending is fine. They could have ended it though when he got up and then he clicked. I think they could have ended it there. I think that whole sequence at the end, as like weird and disturbing as it is, I don't think it's necessary. But it is. That's like the main reason why I wanted to watch Rosemary's Baby, because of the ending.
I'm so lost now. So like that little girl was always bad.
No, she wasn't necessarily bad. She was like a imperfect payment. She was like.
No, but that's what I don't understand, because even at the end they tell Peter that he's Charlie.
Yeah.
And that he's Payment.
Because
Peter still has full control of his own thoughts.
Yeah, she's like, Charlie, you are Payment now.
Yeah, because Charlie's always been Payment. It's like Payment is Charlie and Charlie is Payment.
So they put Payment inside of Charlie before she could like even start thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why she looks like that. It's just
that makes sense. Yeah. Did you see? There's that scene where the first time we see the blue light in Charlie's room when she's like making a like body or whatever, I don't know what it is. Then she walks outside to see the grandmother, but when there's like this God's eye view shot and there's another set of footsteps going the same way.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Is it supposed to say that's a grandma's?
Like that's what I thought it was, but I don't. It wouldn't make sense because the grandma is just an apparition.
Maybe it was one of the cultists setting things up or something. I don't know.
But yeah, they've been there since like the beginning.
Yeah, like back to that blue light. So the first time we see it, well, not the first time we see it. The first time we see it on Peter, right? He looks in the mirror and smiles. And the second time he's walking in the hallway and it like zooms on the door. I didn't get that.
I don't know.
Nothing is that in the door.
No, I have no idea.
Because every time it's that guy who goes like this, and then it's a jump cut to the dad. And I always, like, every time I see it, I think the dad is the psychologist at the school. And he was calling Peter, but Peter never goes into the room, so it can't be.
I thought what it could be is like a physical manifestation of, what's his name?
Paimon.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Could be.
That's a black grasping at straw a bit.
Because I think that guy's just the the principal or something, and he's because what's his name gets a call after that about him being hysteric in the hallways or whatever.
Oh yeah, it does lead to that. Maybe.
You know when Joanne was opposite on the street or whatever, was she like expelling his soul from his body so Payment could enter or something? Like what was going on?
She was saying the same words that are written in all the in the house. She's saying
I wanted to ask what is that?
She didn't say all of it though. She didn't say Zaza for some reason.
She didn't say pandemonium either.
Yeah. She said the other three.
No, we talked about it, Nana. All those words are just incantations to, just.
That's so weird.
Can you give like a definition for incantation?
It's like
spells.
I don't really know.
Incantation is just magic.
It's like when you're like Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like okay.
Yeah.
Abracadabra.
Like
Abracadabra.
Almost did it.
You did do it a little bit.
Yeah, you guys told me and I'm quite shocked. I don't even remember.
There was one thing I wanted to bring up, like, I can't remember.
That happened to me so many times, the podcast would be like, oh yeah, I want to bring this up, and I would like completely forget, and then someone would mention something, and I'd be like, oh yeah.
That's why I want to bring a notepad. Right.
No, but for me, like, I just think of things on the fly. Like, I like what.
No, I don't like think what I want to talk about.
Actually, there's one thing that bothers me: the choice of casting. Like, how is Peter?
Yeah, I like at first
he doesn't
that
look anything
me.
like the both of them.
Like the actor himself, even he isn't like pure a white guy.
No,
and both the father and the mother like pretty.
Like, I would be able to like understand that maybe he's adopted or something. But he's not.
He's
because she's like, no, I want to kill you when you're in my tummy. And like,
for me, the dad's acting wasn't bad either. Like, he was pretty interesting.
No, really.
Where's he from though? Have you seen him in any other movies?
He's quite famous.
Because he's really good at it. Yeah. I can't think of other movies he's been in.
I just feel bad for literally every character in this movie.
Me too. It's
because no one helps each other at all. Well, the dad tries, but like, what the fuck can he do though?
Yeah,
she doesn't want to.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't want to, and he has like no way of grieving. Like he's the only thing the dad ever really can do is just go into Charlie's room and look at a book.
Yeah. There was that drawing in like right before her last drawing is of Payment.
Oh yeah, with the pigeon's head.
Yeah. And every time I saw it, like the first 2 times I saw that, I was like, oh, that looks like a drawing from this one animation artist that I watch. His name's like Felix, and he makes super weird shit like that, dude. And he's so weird. You guys must actually watch.
Like, is it squiggly like that or just?
No, it's like just like weird, like monster creature things.
So
like,
the art style's not the same. It just looks okay.
No, well, the art style's. Oh yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Can we just like do the ending scene and we can continue talking? So should we like end it properly, or say we're gonna watch another movie?
Yeah, let's just call this like part 1.
Okay. So this is the end of part 1, and we'll be back.
Of 5.
Oh.
Of 800.
Of the trilogy.
The Wikipedia trilogy.